Today on Investigate TV Plus, a silent epidemic. Nurses face a daily danger of needle sticks and infection, but another workplace hazard has reached critical levels.
How often are you experiencing or are you seeing violence at your hospital?
Between weapons coming in, between people getting hurt or almost getting hurt, it's often.
We investigate a growing safety threat to those who help heal, the divide about its root cause, and efforts to find a common ground solution to reduce the risk.
Then, quiet heroes.
I think people just fear the system and how long it takes, that they kind of just give up before they even get started.
They provide support to those who've survived acts of violence. We take an in-depth look at a critical resource available to crime victims. Plus,
I wanted a different life.
an abuse survivor overcomes her own painful past to walk with victims during their most difficult times.
And on today's menu,
At Emma's Touch, you can find love, joy, and hope.
a restaurant inspires refugees to create a hopeful future.
In-depth stories that inform and inspire. You're watching Investigate TV Plus. Punched, kicked, bitten, even stabbed. Healthcare workers across the country face these violent acts just doing their job. I'm Tisha Powell.
And I'm Lee Zurich. Nurses who make up the largest group of medical professionals say they often face the brunt of the attacks. Violence against these healthcare workers has become such an issue, Congress is trying to pass laws to help curb it. The problem is there are two different laws being considered and disagreement on which one is best.
Reporter Kristen Crowley takes an in-depth look at the danger and solutions to reduce the threat.
There's some guy in here that's nuts.
These 911 calls paint a horrifying picture.
Did he hurt somebody with the scissors? Yes.
They assaulted the employee until they passed out?
Yeah, unconscious. It's chaos. It's absolute chaos.
The pleas for help coming from inside a Florida hospital.
Oh my God.
Ma'am, where in the hospital is this? He stabbed a nurse?
Yes.
The nurse is on the floor?
This could be nearly a fatality. This patient, this employee may not make it.
That employee was a nurse, Leilama Lal. According to police reports and Lal's attorney, Karen Terry, a patient taken to Lal's hospital for mental health reasons attacked her. Months later, Lal was still too injured to speak with us, so Terry spoke on her behalf.
Almost beaten to death. She has suffered extensive neurologic injuries, massive injuries to her face.
Is she breathing?
In less than a minute, Lal went from caring for patients to becoming one.
I haven't ever seen anything like this before, but to my shock and surprise, I have received phone calls and emails from healthcare workers, mostly nurses, throughout this country and throughout this state, who said this has been a problem for decades.
A problem that, according to the nation's largest registered nurses union, is getting worse. National Nurses United says more than 80% of registered nurses it surveyed have experienced violence, from verbal threats to physical attacks. Nearly half say the violence has increased in recent years.
She was able to grab me by the back of the head. She hit me in the back of the head a couple of times.
In Kansas City, Missouri, we sat down with 3 nurses who say handling violence is becoming part of the job. How often are you experiencing or are you seeing violence at your hospital?
Between weapons coming in, between people getting hurt or almost getting hurt, it's often.
It's enough that lawmakers at the federal level are trying to get involved. But there are differing opinions on how to solve this critical threat to frontline healthcare workers. On one hand, there's the Workplace Violence Prevention Act. It would require healthcare employers to develop and implement a comprehensive workplace violence prevention plan. Supporters of the bill say prevention is key, and the best way to get there is safe staffing levels. An issue National Nurses United says is at the heart of the violence.
Safe staffing makes everyone safer, right? If you don't have time to be in your patient's room and you're rushing between patients, you're not going to be able to recognize those signs of escalation and intervene with that patient as early as if you were safely staffed.
Safe staffing, nurses told us, means fewer patients per nurse so they can spend more time meeting their needs.
I had 9 patients on our intensive treatment unit, which is like the psych ICU.
Is 9 patients a lot?
Yes. So the ratio that we advocate for federal legislation is 4-to-1.
When I was getting attacked, we had 1 staff member show up.
Had the staffing been different that day, do you think it could have prevented that attack?
I absolutely think so. Safe staffing is the best way to prevent workplace violence.
But not everyone agrees.
Mandated ratios are not going to solve the workplace violence issues. Because you add more nurses doesn't mean the violence is going to abate.
Claire Zangerly is the chief nurse executive for the American Hospital Association. That group is supporting different legislation, the Save Healthcare Workers Act, which would toughen criminal penalties for people who assault healthcare staff.
What we want this law to do is we want this law to keep people from offending. It's very much like having a police force in the hospital, walking the beat, walking the units, so that there is that presence of that those officers on those units, and that deters the crime.
And that's where these two sides are divided.
We don't agree with it. Our patients aren't criminals.
Nurses United says the increased punishments in the Save Healthcare Workers Act won't do anything to prevent violence.
So at least 37 states already have enhanced criminal penalties on the books for workplace violence against healthcare workers. And many have had those in place for decades. And yet we've seen workplace violence rates continue to skyrocket.
Maine is one of those states that passed a law in 2023, creating harsher penalties for assault on healthcare workers. Northern Light Health says in 2022, before the law passed, it recorded 834 acts of violence. In 2024, that number was 799. Northern Light's government relations person, Lisa Harvey McPherson, says they want the number to be lower, but thinks the law is working. It's just hard to show in numbers.
How many violent incidences didn't occur because it's a tougher crime? That would be the unknown.
Patients come to the hospital because they're sick, and we need people to take care of them.
Florida also has a law with tougher penalties for attacks on healthcare workers, a law that was in place when Leilama Lal was attacked.
It didn't protect Miss Lal. I think if they had additional staff, I think if they had trained armed security, this would not have happened.
When you all were going to school to get into healthcare, did anybody talk to you about violence in the workplace?
No.
No.
Honestly, no.
None of you?
I do think that it's something that nurses should be prepared for.
These nurses tell us for now, preparing is all they can do, as the profession continues to wrestle with workplace violence, while industry organizations and federal lawmakers work towards a solution to fix it.
According to the hospital where Lal worked, although 2 different healthcare regulatory agencies concluded there were no deficiencies in its protocols, hospital leadership is developing security enhancements. The divide in how to solve this problem is further complicated by a disagreement about the nursing industry. The American Hospital Association says there is a nursing shortage, that even if more staff could fix the problem, there aren't enough nurses to hire. But the nurses union says there are hundreds of thousands of registered nurses who aren't actively working because they are not willing to work in unsafe conditions.
For many victims of crime, the legal system can feel like a maze of confusion and fear.
But there are unsung heroes walking beside them, offering support.
My dedication is to help as many people on all sides get healed.
Just ahead, an abuse survivor inspired to pave her own way, how she provides help and solutions to those seeking justice.
They help survivors navigate a path to justice and play a crucial role in the healing process.
As long as there is crime, there will be a need for victim advocates. Victim advocates are trained to support crime victims. They offer emotional support, victims' rights information, resources, and assistance in filling out legal forms.
Examples include FBI victim specialists for victims of federal crimes, community-based advocates working independently of the judicial system in nonprofit settings, and system-based advocates employed by states and serving as liaisons between victims and criminal justice personnel.
Reporter Ann Emmerich introduces us to one of these quiet heroes inspired to break the cycle of violence.
Justice often moves slowly. For crime victims, the system can feel scary, intimidating, even hopeless.
The court process is not an overnight thing. It can go weeks, months, and sometimes into years. And so I think people just fear the system and how long it takes that they kind of just give up before they even get started.
Priscilla Bordeo knows this all too well. She was just 12 years old when she spoke up about the sexual abuse she suffered from her own father.
Ultimately, I ended up lying to the courts and to protect my family, mainly because I realized, even as a child, the difficult decisions my mom was having to make in order to move forward with the process.
Now there are more resources available, and there are quiet heroes who stand by crime victims as soon as they enter the court system.
Our victim advocates are really the first responders to notify them of what their rights are.
For many victims, fear of the legal system can be paralyzing. Justice out of reach without advocacy.
This is a really uncomfortable topic, but I think that's why conversations like this and people like Priscilla are so important, because we need to really face the reality that child abuse is a real thing that happens in our community.
Alex Brace is the executive director and a therapist at the nonprofit Small Talk Children's Advocacy Center. It was established in 2011 to address a growing need for a more coordinated approach to child abuse cases, one that can reduce trauma and help children heal.
Children can come here for what's called a forensic interview, so it's an opportunity for a child to get their statement on the record about what happened to them. And then after that, we're able to provide them with counseling services and advocacy services at no cost for as long as they need it.
Places like Small Talk did not exist when Priscilla reported her abuse. To heal, she paved her own way through education and inspiration from others who shared their stories of abuse.
I wanted a different life. I knew that the dysfunction I was living in, the options for my family lineage wasn't looking very good. You had many family members turning to drugs, to drinking, to crime, things that I didn't want to do. And I knew that I needed to make a different decision for myself.
The first in her family to get a college degree, Priscilla is now helping others. She serves as the statewide manager for Michigan Crime Survivors for Safety and Justice. She pushed to change Michigan's law to expand the time frame for victims to file a police report from 48 hours to a year and 5 years to file for compensation.
The victim compensation is so key to their healing because that could pay for a medical bill, lost wages, mental health, counseling.
She's one of many advocates walking with victims through their darkest hours.
And our advocates are trained to try to assist them in overcoming those fears and talk to them and provide them that comfort that they need to be safe and to come forward to court.
I think ideally what Small Talk wants is to close our doors and not have to exist anymore. I think that's kind of what we're always shooting for.
Priscilla and her family have healed and forgiven. They recently celebrated her father's 70th birthday together. She says it's important to help everyone in the cycle of violence.
My dedication is to help as many people on all sides get healed, because that's how we're going to see victimization decrease.
Priscilla was nominated for a prestigious national award for her work to advocate for crime victims. It comes as prosecutors and advocacy centers recognize four-legged friends can also play a role. Ingham County, Michigan has a victims advocate dog named Basil. In her support role, the Labrador and Golden Retriever mix helps crime victims and survivors in child abuse and sexual assault cases. She's the second dog to serve in the Ingham County Prosecutor's Office. In Lansing, Michigan, I'm Ann Emmerich.
Still ahead, a house specialty.
Let's grab this chicken and let's cut it. We're gonna julienne cut.
They teach the art of slicing, dicing, and seasoning, but this isn't a typical culinary class. We show you how food empowers students to accomplish the American dream.
But first, creative co-working. We take you inside a unique space that sparks inspiration and provides connections.
You can watch Investigate TV Plus anytime streaming online. Get the app for Roku, Amazon Fire TV, and Apple TV. It's free to download.
Over the past 2 decades, co-working spaces have undergone a dramatic transformation.
When they first appeared in the early 2000s, they appealed to digital nomads searching for an alternative to coffee shops and home offices. Since then, it's gone from a concept catering to freelancers to mainstream. Just outside Nashville, the Creativity Bar continues this evolution.
Reporter Tracy Cornett takes us on a tour.
Welcome to the Creativity Bar, Tracy.
Stephanie Pruitt-Gaines hopes to help shape the future of those drawn to her door.
I've always loved coloring books, and it feels like walking through a coloring book. And also in my dreams, I often dream in black and white.
The Creativity Bar is part playroom.
Something happens when you have a Princess Rainbow ribbon.
Part art studio.
Our members can come, drop in anytime, and make stuff.
Part office.
To come up with the next great idea, you've got to have some playfulness and creativity.
Every inch of it outlined in black.
All of these little lines really intentionally play with your eyes, and your mind wants to fill them in. And so part of what I hope the space does is people walk in and feel a sense of possibility.
The effect is otherworldly.
We're not walking up a ramp. This is
No,
flat.
we're not.
This is so wild.
Designed to unleash the imagination and help ideas flow.
It's raining on me.
Members pay a monthly fee or day rate.
My work, it's all about creating something out of nothing. And so this place is just so inspiring, the energy that's here.
Founding members Dawn Cornelius and Lee Patton have attended several workshops here.
I just feel better, and I am better when I come here. I leave inspired.
What is my path forward? It's going to take some creativity to figure that out.
Lee is now launching a tailoring business after leaving a long-time job and losing 2 close family members.
Community and creativity, it doesn't have to be difficult. It doesn't have to be this big plan. You can actually just walk in the door and say, oh my gosh, this is so cool. And your brain starts working.
I want creativity to be a habit. I hope to really empower people to make creativity a part of your regular everyday life.
What a great place to just go and kind of let your mind wander and get off everything, all the dated stuff that you just want to get rid of.
You know, that black and white was playing tricks on me
Wasn't
the
it?
whole time.
I know. Can you imagine being in there, seeing it?
Pretty cool. Yes. Yeah. Well, up next, global cuisine.
I learn new skills to know how to cook the best dishes in the world.
We show you how a cafe provides refugees with the ingredients for a fresh start. A message inscribed on the base of the Statue of Liberty welcoming huddled masses yearning to breathe free serves as a guiding light for a unique restaurant in the nation's capital. Emma's Torch Cafe provides refugees with an opportunity to celebrate their heritage and cuisine by training for a career in the food industry.
Reporter Deborah Alfarone goes behind the line in the kitchen.
Let's grab this chicken and let's cut it. We're gonna julienne cut.
This isn't just a kitchen in a DC cafe.
We have 10 minutes, so everything needs to be up by 10 minutes.
It's on-the-job training.
We have 9 minutes to have all of this in the bowls and plated, okay?
These students aren't just learning prep, they're learning possibilities.
At Emma's Torch, you can find love, joy, and hope.
Emma's Torch is a cafe and culinary school in Washington, D.C. Their goal is to empower refugees, asylees, and survivors of human trafficking. Nico came to the U.S. to rebuild his life.
I left my country because I lose everything. Cars, house, and my wife too. It's very sad. And I'm here. I'm in the United States with my 2 children.
He says Emma's Torch welcomed him and gave him new purpose.
I learn new skills to know how to cook the best dishes in the world. And I feel that I'm at the right place.
Our program is about 11 weeks long, and it's 40 hours a week.
Carrie Brody founded the social justice nonprofit 8 years ago.
And that's where our students are learning things like self-advocacy, English classes, resume prep, interview prep, all of those things that are outside the kitchen. And then we bring them inside the kitchen, and they're learning knife skills, and they're learning the fundamentals you would learn in culinary class.
500 students have graduated, 90% have jobs.
The nice teamwork, you guys, nice teamwork.
Who is Emma? Emma Lazarus was one of those unsung heroes of Jewish history. She was reading the headlines in the newspaper saying, you know, these people are going to change our country. These people are bringing whatever they're bringing. And she said, no, that's not what we're about.
Emma Lazarus wrote these words inscribed at the base of the Statue of Liberty.
Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. What a more powerful sentiment than that what is at our core is this idea of welcoming the stranger. The organization is supposed to be a testament to that.
And just like the dishes they make, these students contribute their own ingredients to society, their culture, their art, their recipes.
You had been through so much and you've lost so much. Do you think that this is a second chance?
Yes, because exactly. When you're at a master's, you have a second chance. Because you can begin a new life. You can believe in yourself.
And it's that resolve that can be a recipe for success.
Good job, everybody. Good job.
And that's it for us on Investigate TV. Plus, I'm Lee Zer.
And I'm Tisha Powell. Thanks for watching. On the next Investigate TV Plus, controlling what some call a potential energy crisis in American cities.
This is not saying we want to ban data centers in our community. We want to just be more intentional about where they go and make sure that they are not providing a greater risk to the adjacent properties that are next to them.
We uncover how data centers can put a strain on the power grid and explore the fight to keep residents from getting stuck with the tab.